I believe in zombies. In fact, I've met them. As I've gotten to travel around the United States, speaking to high schools, colleges, corporations, nonprofits, I noticed an underlying theme. Spoke to a college student the other day who wanted to be a dentist. I asked him, why do you want to be a dentist? Because my parents want me to be a dentist, but I don't really want to be a dentist. Then I talked to an older lady the other day, a few states away, who had been working at the same profit job for 20 years, punching a time clock, dreading Monday, and even hating her job every day of the week. Then I met a gentleman a few states over who worked at a nonprofit organization for 10 years, who had a great vision at one time and a mission, but had lost his passion. And he was going to work every day, hating it and dreading it. See, these people are what I call work-life zombies. They haven't discovered their true passion and purpose in life. And what that simply means is that you find your strengths, your abilities, your innate gifts. You take those, you work on them, you harvest them, and you turn that into a career of purpose and passion. One of the reasons I believe that America struggles with this is because we don't spend enough time on it. Did you know my research shows that most people in this room will watch more TV this month, go to more movies, and hang out with friends than they will a lifetime of career development? Another one that I believe that the reason is we haven't discovered true passion and purpose is we don't look at life as being short. And if you take your life, the average life in North America, somebody lives to be about 79 years old, average of male and female. And if I were to give you an analogy, the world is about 4.5 billion years old. And you put that into perspective of life. You look at the Pacific Ocean. It's one of the largest land masses on the earth. 30% of the world's surface covers this. 62 million square miles. Let's say that you measured that life by a stone. And someone's life was cut short. Maybe they lived to be 7 or 10 years old. And you took that rock and measured it, and you threw it in the Pacific Ocean, no ripple effect. Let's say that maybe you live to be halfway there, 40 to 50 years old, and your life runs out, and you measure it in a little bit bigger of a stone, and you throw it in the Pacific Ocean, and guess what? No ripple effect. Let's say you have the maximum output. You live to be 90, 100 years old, and you're a healthy individual. And you've got the heaviest rock you can have. And in this analogy, you throw it in the Pacific Ocean and there's still no ripple. See, what I found out, it's not about the size of your rock. It's what you do with your rock. In other words, it's not about how long you have. It's what you do with the time you have on earth. One last analogy, look at a gravestone. There's something interesting on every gravestone. There's always a number in the beginning, and then there's a number in the end, but there's something in the middle, and that's what I think is significant about life. It's a dash, a very short moment in time. What will you do inside your dash? When I was 14 years old, I thought I discovered true passion and purpose. I was going to be an NBA basketball player. And you notice I had the nickname Baby Shaq. You want to know how I got that nickname? I nicknamed myself Baby Shaq. I was 200 pounds. I'm actually about 200 pounds right now. At 14, I was 200 pounds. And I was 5'10", I'm about 6 feet now. But I thought my life's mission was I was going to guard Shaquille O'Neal in the paint. That was my passion and my purpose over life. Obviously, if you look at me here, People pretty much know that's not my passion and purpose. That wasn't my unique strengths and abilities. Sometimes we've got to separate our hobbies from our purpose and our passion. There's 821 careers out there, according to the Department of Labor Bureau and Statistics. Most Americans can't name 25. If we don't know that there's 821 career pathways, how do we discover true passion and purpose over our lives? It's very important to know what pathways we can get to. One of the ways of discovering passion and purpose of your life is a career journal. Everybody has a phone. They have notes in it that you can type up. I recommend these 3 questions you put in your journal and carry it around with you. If money were no object, what would you do with your career? What are your strengths and your abilities and your talents? And finally, what do you want to be when you grow up? And if you spend some days and months on this, you'd be surprised at what you end up finding about your own innate self. I thought at one point I wanted to be a doctor, so I followed around a doctor for a day. At the end of the day, I said, how in the world do you do this job? So obviously, a doctor wasn't my career path. We need to do preceptorships. If we think we're going to be in that career for a lifetime, or we want to go into that career, wouldn't it be nice to spend some time with somebody already doing that career to see if that's a way we want to pursue? Career coaching has become large in North America. In fact, it's about $150 to $250 per hour. And one of the things that students don't take advantage of at the high school and college level is career guidance counselors. Even when you get to college, there's these big things called career centers. And they do a lot about what career coaching does in the professional world. And we don't take advantage of those services. And a lot of those times, those coaches can guide us on a path that we had never thought we would have before. Personality profiles are a way to learn about yourselves, to find out what you're good at, to find out what personalities you get along with, what strengths and abilities do you have. These tests are free online and you can take them today and kind of discover what your true strengths are and your abilities to learn more about your inner self. We've forgotten to read in this country. Books have gone almost old-fashioned nowadays. But if you think about it, everything we learn comes from reading and knowledge. There's every book you can think of out there on finance, on career journeys. Pick up a book about self-discovery, and you'd be amazed at what you can learn and about what career path you can decide to ultimately go down. Is there an entry-level job you wouldn't mind doing now that gets you onto your greater vision? And so I met this girl one time. She wanted to work at Walt Disney World. And her whole goal was to be X. But she had to start out in the concession stands and as a janitor. And guess what? Through her hard work, after a couple of years, she got to where she wanted to be. Is there an entry-level job you wouldn't mind doing to get to where you want to be? You look at around you, we have all these friends and professionals and teachers and colleagues and family members. And a lot of the times we don't see in the mirror what our strengths are. All we have to do is ask people around us, what are our strengths? What is my abilities? What is my talents? And you'd be surprised at what you can learn by your own network. My brother actually got a chance to visit me, and he's going through this time of being a career journey in college, and he said, give me some advice about finding my career. And I said, here's one thing of advice I would say, put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to ask questions. The worst thing someone can tell you is no. Reach out, connect, be a part of the world. The more activity is the better. And so what I want to do today is eradicate zombies. And let me ask you this, what will you do inside your dash? Thank you.